fans, this is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. Early morning talk. Top of the morning to everyone. Top of the morning to you, Joshua Littlejohn. First on the chat. How's everybody feeling? I'll let it load as I head on to location. We got hot news, people. We have the return of certain fighters. We have racism in the sport of boxing by the TBE. There's only one TBE. This name is TBE, Floyd Money Mayweather. Chris Serrano, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Counterpunch in this piece. Just headed to work. Getting a bright and early start. Got an hour out. Martin Walker, what's up, brother? Gloves are off. Gloves are off. Oh, no. Gloves of the sweet science. Forgive me. Allow me to correct that. El Kazi, well, good morning, brother. Counterpunch to you. Bama Southpaw, what's happening? Penny Royale, counterpunch to you. Aubrey, what's up? Listening to you from South Africa while working. Really inspired by your work ethic. Appreciate you, brother. Let's get it. Nothing like hard-earned work, especially when it's a passion. Love to do it. Love to get to it. Bars. Secret Police. Legend is live. So, one for all. What's up, brother? B6 UK. Tommy Hagler. Counterpunch. Canelo versus Sanders. Absolutely. We got to talk about it. We have to talk about it. Aubrey. Let's hit that like button. We got 26 of our community on the chat. Let's hit that like button. 100%. You got to do something you love. Absolutely. Let's get it. Jamie, counterpunch to you. Kurt, how you doing? Feel about Volley versus Brazil? I feel it's going to be a nice little scrap. I feel it's going to be a nice little scrap. You know, and I'm glad these heavyweights are fighting each other instead of waiting for a possible fight with the guys that really you can't fight. The only person that really has all access is Deontay Wilder. And you know, his selection is limited, so these guys should fight each other. No doubt. Yeah, the dates of Canelo versus Saunders. Yeah, that's big. You know, but that was pretty much projected because when he signed with Eddie Hearn, that's the best fight he can have. If it's strap season, that's what we got. That's exactly what we got. So we got Canelo versus Saunders. You know, May 1st or May 8th. That is the order. That's the projection. You know, the most important thing we have to keep in mind about fights that are already made, you can't just assume they're going to happen. And we have to remember that these fights could come to a screeching halt due to the season we're in. And I know, if you guys are anything like me, I can't stand any of this shit. I hate it all. You can't sneeze, cough, have a fever, sore throat. You can't have any symptoms that match up with the obvious. You'll be sent home, exiled, quarantined, you know. Let's hit that like button. That like button activates notoriety, notifications, YouTube to say, hey, what's going on that guy's live stream? Instead of going and chiming in, let's go in and put his at the very top to let everybody knows, hey, he's live. So, what I want to talk to you guys about first, we do have Billy Joe Saunders. We do have Canelo Alvarez. And I'll do a video on it separate later, but let's talk about it in a live chat. We got Canelo Alvarez, Billy Joe Saunders, roughly the same age. How old is Canelo now? 30? He'll be 31 in July, I believe. I believe that's when his birthday is, July. Then you have Billy Joe Saunders, roughly the same age. Billy Joe, undefeated, southpaw, tall, has the reach advantage, can box. He can turn it on when he wants to. So he's, you know, like I think southpaws, because you remember Austin Trout gave Canelo a nice little scrap, right? Yeah, Joshua Lil John. That Bridger weight, I don't agree with that shit at all. I don't even think, I think that's another plan for the man to get more cash. Another plan for the man. Yeah, that's all. Mr. Easy, what's up, brother? Counterpunch from Dubai, no, Dublin. Can't wait for it, Kurt. Interview with Coach Sugar Askar. Cool, damn, he's got a few secrets about Wilder coming soon. Hey, let's get it. I can't wait. We'll, where is he at? What part of the world is he in? Al Dunford, Counterpunch to you. Hafiz, thank you for the super chat. Top of the morning to you. I have Alvarez, but as a traveler from UK, I'll be behind Billy Joe Saunders, and he stayed active, not slumped like he used to. Well, that's good. But you know, Billy Joe is one of those guys. He's undefeated, but people thought he's supposed to have been defeated long ago. Remember David Lemieux? Everybody thought David Lemieux was going to knock his block off. And that didn't happen, did it? He took David Lemieux to school, and David Lemieux is one of the hardest hitting middleweights that you had. I don't know what David Lemieux's up to now, but he got annihilated. Aubrey, a lot of people are counting him out because people think because you beat a rival of a rival easily that he does, they feel that he can do the same thing. A lot of people do that. You see a fight where a fighter's very dominant, then you see another fight where the guy is not as dominant, then you put them to compare them together with their performances, and you draw your conclusion based on their performances with two different opponents. People do that all the time. That's just like this. That's just like Pacquiao and Mayweather, right? Pacquiao in 14 fought Timothy Bradley and had a good fight with Timothy Bradley. Timothy Bradley, that was a pretty competitive fight for the most part. Pacquiao won once again, but he beat Timothy Bradley with some resistance. Compared to Floyd fought Maidana, right? And everybody knows what type of fight he had with Maidana. So that's just like saying, oh man, you see how Pacquiao beat up Bradley? And look how Floyd struggled with Maidana them rounds. You know Manny will beat Floyd now. You see what I'm saying? Doesn't add up. Doesn't add up at all. Yeah, he has the ability to surprise you. He definitely does. He's one of them guys that you count him out, he'll do some shit. And the type of performance, if he has a David Lemieux type of performance and they rob him, you know what's going to happen? It'll probably be some Iris-Landy Lauda stuff, but I think Canelo at that point, that's going to be for unification. Look, Will didn't know. Because Canelo, he can lose too. He's a good fighter, but he can lose. He's lost past Mayweather in my eyes. But he's a hell of a fighter. But he got better, like year after year. I think he's in his peak right now. Little dude like that beating up big tall guys. You know, big tall ass dudes. He just, you know, breaking arms and shit. I'm like, dude, that Clenbural's a beast. Joshua Little John, I get that, bro. Have you heard about the Australian heavyweight Justin Honey and his recent concussion scare? No, I haven't. Yeah, send me links. Give me something to do while I'm at work. Let me read up on this type of stuff because I never heard of it. How is he doing? What's his condition? I mean, he's a fighter, obviously, but what's his condition? Yeah, he has the tools and the skills to fight Canelo. He hits hard enough to keep him honest. You know, he's not a super hard fighter. You know, he fights with finesse a lot of times, but he knows how to turn it on to be more aggressive. It's going to be a good fight, man. I look forward to it. And yes, I will be live, God willing. I will be live. Stuff like that. Canelo, you know, top prodigy. Billy will take the L versus Canelo. They try to move down and chase Andrade for the title, and Andrade will send him packing. Well, Andrade, I don't think he can afford to send anybody packing, honestly, because he needs fights. He needs exposure. He needs that work. Andrade is a guy that ever since he started, he's either had bad management, bad decisions. Counterpunch. Yeah, but Andrade needs to get in where he fits in. He needs to start fighting guys. But Andrade has a lot of bad fortune, though, man. Bad misfortune, because he had the Billy Joe Saunders fight. Post-nasal spray drip with chemicals in that. You know, he turned down the Jamal fight. No, the Jamal or Jamel. I forget which one he turned down. At 154. But he had shitty management, so they tried to give him peanuts or whatever. And believe it or not, he's still undefeated. But what does it really mean? That undefeated is overrated when you're not fighting or boxing, or you can't get a fight. You know? To cut down his talks, just fight. Yeah, he does talk a lot of shit, and he's really, Andrade is not really he's not a Keith Thurman. I think he tries to be, but he's not. He's not that dude. You know what I'm saying? He's not really appealing like that. He has a reckless style. I don't think he has proper balance. Because I think he tries too hard to he overcommits punches by trying to punch too hard. And he leaves himself off balance. You've seen that guy. Watch the Andrade fight. Andrade be swinging for the fences and shit, and the dude's not there. You'll see swinging around like Oliver Twist and shit. Twisting all about like that. You know, so it's just, but he does a lot of talking. He does a lot of it, but he's not necessarily the best at it. Not saying he has like problem speaking. It's just, I think he tries hard at doing something that he's not the best at. I think he's a better fighter than a talker. But I see where he's trying to project his personality. You know what I'm saying? If you know your trainer not doing well, get rid of him. I like Andrade's skills, but he hasn't fought anyone. Yeah, I mean, he's just had a lot of bad decision making, you know. And then certain things, like, again, that Billy Joe Saunders, he ain't had nothing to do with it, but that's not his fault. He signed with Eddie Hearn. But yeah, he has to start fighting. Like I told you guys yesterday, he'll end up like Michael Hunter. Andrade is the prime example of why it's important for southpaw to have good footwork. Yeah, ain't that the truth? But Canelo, Billy Joe, this is what we have. Canelo and Billy Joe Saunders. But of course, this is the fight that we hope to get. So this is a good thing. This is a very good thing. Do you think Roy Jones Jr. will be good for Eubank Jr.? He could, I think Roy Jones' style and Eubank's style are totally different. Will it help him? Because what I see Roy focuses on with him is trying to give him rhythm and footwork. It's almost trying to teach Rocky Balboa Apollo Creed style in Rocky 3. That's what I think about. He's dipping and around, you know what I mean, and trying to learn the way of the Roy. He's trying to learn the way of the Roy. So I think that okay, this is weird. All right. So I don't know, because Chris Eubank Jr. has like an aggressive style. He likes to maul you in the corner and stuff like that. I remember once upon a time, those fighters you had guys like, you had Danny Jacobs, you had Billy Joe, you had Chris Eubank Jr., which the Chris Eubank Jr., they actually fought, so that's a good thing. You have, who did you have there? You had Peter Quillin. Remember Peter Quillin? You hardly ever hear about him anymore. And he was a champ until Danny Jacobs knocked his block off. That was some funny shit, Billy Joe schooled Eubank Jr. Well, you know what? Eubank Jr., though, he did come on later rounds. He did come on in the later rounds. So, I mean, it was a close fight, though. It wasn't like he just beat the shit out of Billy Joe. It was a competitive fight. But he did get Billy Joe, Billy Joe did get him in like the middle rounds. And I think that Eubank tried to rally late and came up short. Yeah, Martin Murray didn't look too good. So let's hope. But Billy Joe, he's hot and cold. So let's just hope Billy Joe is hot come May, because he has no choice. Because you're getting in there with Canelo Alvarez, you better be ready. But you think about the time frame. He has enough time to, get everything together now. So there's no excuses now. There's no, I didn't have enough time and I just took the money because if I didn't want to wait because nah. He has enough time. Like Danny Jacobs, he tripped me out. Like he took like 10 weeks to fight, to get prepared for Golovkin. It was a good fight, you know what I mean? Kurt in the UK, one bothers with Eubank Jr. It's like watching the paint dry. Damn. My son is the best. My son is the best amongst all the peers of fighters. He just has what he has. Oh, man. He has his father's spirit. He does. But he has to harness and sharpen his skills. That's why I tell Chris, you are good. You are one of the best. You just have to know it. Now show it. Show me that. This next round. He talks his ass like he's mentoring and shit, not even like a trainer. You see how Chris Eubank Sr. like stands over his son and kind of just fucking like towers over him and shit and stands straight up and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this dude doing? What is this? What is this guy doing? I need to see him back in the ring before I can make my mind up. But calling him yeah, but I think Roy Jones is good for his confidence. You know, I think that's more of a confidence booster getting with Roy Jones, you know. You ready? You ready to take this to the next level? Ready to do this? You ready to be like Roy Jones? Ready to get with the man with the plan? I'm the man with the plan. You want to get with me? Let's see. Tariq Reed, OG Tariq from Philly, salute. The best have me laughing over your impression. Smash that like button. Where are we at? Okay, we got 25 likes. Let's smash that like button. Damn, it is like freaking hot. True, imagine as a fighter having Jones in your corner. Yeah. Yeah, those were good fights, and people forget about those. You remember? Yeah, I remember Nick Blackwell. You know, they try to give him a lot of shit for like how his condition was. I mean, like, it ain't like Chris Eubank talks shit. It ain't like he pulled a Ty Booth, like started talking a bunch of dry ass, dark shit that really wasn't, you know, funny for the time because, you know, the man had a swollen brain. He shouldn't be fighting. He's not a fighter. His body is not conditioned or made for boxing, even though he might like to box. Nick Blackwell, because the very next fight he got in, he had swelling of the head also. He needs to hang it up. Yeah, he put him in the hospital. Damn right, he put him in the hospital. I mean, they get mad at him, and you know, I didn't understand that. Like, yo, and they like the man, you know, said some wilder shit. I want a body. I wanted to swell his head. See, his doctor bills, he needs his check to pay his doctor bill. I want that body. I really want it. I'm glad I did it. That you know not to mess with me. Deontay. I think it was the dressing room talk after the fight, and with Murray's people gave Billy Joe more encouragement. Okay. Blackwell wasn't meant to be a fighter. No, he wasn't. You're right. Come on, he wasn't meant to be a fighter. He just was not. You know, look, if you have those type of injuries, brain swelling, dude, come on. Come on now. And you know, Chris Eubank Jr. was mauling his ass. That's, you know, that was bad. But I mean, what are you gonna do? Fight a dude because you know, I mean, he got head swelling. I don't want to hit him as hard. Like, what? He's gonna knock you out. It doesn't mean he can't punch though. He can hit you though. James Bosch, keep up the good work, Kurt. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate your super chat. T. Honey's injury was from wrestling with friends gone wrong. Chavez Jr. either, for that matter. Well, Chavez can make Chavez can take a punch though. You know what I mean? Penny Royale T, appreciate the love and the super chat with them pounds. You know, the first thing I'm gonna do when I go to the UK, I have to get me some British pounds. You know, these American dollars over here. Do they have them? Do they like, is the currency in the UK? Does people walk around with like US dollars there, or is it kind of like, going to like Brazil where you pretty much have to, you know, turn your shit in and convert it to that currency, because that's what people mostly take. M. Thompson, counterpunch to you from Scotland. Scotland's in the house. I was near this corner. Blackwell was shouting. Let's see. Throw the towel, respected it to Junior. He slowed down his punches. Ah, okay. So I'll beat him less so I can beat him more. I'll slow down the ass whooping so I can hit him more. Okay, that's grand. Merle Dixon with that wrench and that gold symbol, membership only. Shout out to all my members, man. Shout out to my members. The few, the proud, the members. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate your dedication and your support. 100%. Oh, I got some good content coming. I have to upload it tonight on my with my device. I was going in. I got Counterpunch bloopers, so that's gonna be the next segment of Counterpunch, the members only. So, some entertainment, definitely some entertainment. I don't understand how Canelo says he doesn't fight Mexicans when he's fought Chavez Jr., Angulo, and many other Mexicans. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but he says, he's open to fighting David Benavidez. I don't know, man. I think maybe he's changing the way he looks at stuff. When you start making a lot of money like Canelo, you start looking at certain things. Floyd kind of reached on that a little bit. That they were, he didn't say the exact thing, but I think Floyd would rather fight like mixing nationalities, because race and nationalities that clash sells. Like you have the Puerto Rican versus Mexican rivalry, different types, rivalries in that aspect, nationalities are, two different people that support different ways, different fighters, different nations. Kurt, you made me realize that our life is a flip scenario. Yeah, he could have been a DAZN fighter. You know what I mean? And see, Wilder, he made his decision. That's all, shit ain't no need to harp on it. He made his decision. Where he's at, he decided to be where he's at. I hope he continues his journey. I hope to see Wilder again. There's life after a loss. Not everybody can be freaking Mayweather. So it's time to get over it, really, and move on. Everybody gets their heart broken one time, right? I know mine has. So, it happens. And I know that's a heartbreaking thing. So, he can come back, though. But harping on, one fight, you harping on one fight is not healthy. Not healthy for anybody. My dream fight would be Pacquiao versus Pryor. Ooh, what do you think? Who wins out? I don't know. Stuff like that is kind of hard because, Aaron Pryor was a beast, a Hulk. He was a beast. That's like a badger taking on a Tasmanian devil, Pryor wanted Leonard for a long time. He wanted Leonard. He called out Leonard. Aaron, what's up, brother, from Finland? Counterpunch to you. So, speaking of Floyd, let's talk about Floyd money Mayweather. And this is what Floyd said, okay? I'm ad-libbing, all right? I think, why did people hate me when I dominated the sport for years and years without a loss? And Conor McGregor, I was flamboyant, boisterous, and everybody hate me. Conor McGregor does the same thing and gets loved. I don't see it. And he doesn't even dominate the sport. Now he's trying to fight Manny Pacquiao. It's like my leftovers, eating my leftovers. You know, I don't understand. How does the double standard? There has to be, comes down to racism. You know, Manny, I mean, Floyd, he claps like he gets mad. Comes down to racism. That's some funny shit, man, I tell you. And, you know, I think if you read that, it's not really about racism, though. That rant wasn't about racism. Now, it's true. It is a double standard in boxing. But I read that, and what jumped out to me was, Pacquiao, he fighting Pacquiao, and Pacquiao, you know, that's my leftovers. You know, and I dog him. They're not on my level. None of them are on my level. And it's like my leftovers eat my leftovers. I think that was really a stab at Manny Pacquiao, though. And he's, you know, he took a stab at Manny Pacquiao for really copying his prototype for taking on McGregor. Manny Pacquiao, I respected Manny Pacquiao for fighting fighters past his prime, fighting elite fighters and him past his prime. For contrast, or versus Floyd doing that YouTube fantasy match celebrity exhibition bullshit. I'm decent. I'm a decent boxer, you know. I think the lighter I am, the better I am. That's why I definitely advocate for Joshua to be smaller. Because if you look, it's not about muscles and none of that shit. It's about form, technique, muscle memory. That's another thing that people need to look at when you're throwing punches. But I think Floyd was more trying to take a stab at Manny Pacquiao. He didn't have to bring Manny Pacquiao into it. It's like, yeah, he made an initial point with the double standard. I get that. That's true. People love McGregor. You know, who the fuck is this guy? Fuck Floyd Mayweather. Everybody loves him. Yeah. Fuck Floyd. He's a small, old bitch. Right? But then he takes a stab at Manny out of the blue. So I'm like, okay, well, wait a minute. Your whole conversation changed from from McGregor doing shit that he did far more shit than Floyd did, and people still love him. Floyd got in one domestic dispute in a tussle with one of his exes, and they hated that man for a long time. So I get what he's saying. They hated Floyd for that shit. Oh, well, you know, it's all right on the pads. I'm decent, you know. I need to work on my time. I know now because I haven't been in the gym in a while, like a boxing gym in a while. So, Kawasaki from Wales. Yeah, that's the home of the Italian Dragon. Counterpunch to you. But no, back to Floyd, man. Floyd went from McGregor to Manny. You know, Manny on my level. You know, and he look, anytime he gets to stab at Manny, he'll do that. But Manny and Pacquiao, man, and Floyd Mayweather. Floyd, he might not want a dancing partner. He might not want to someone that can have That's not a bad comparison. Get your head out of your ass, stop thinking that you're God, and understand, this is what it is. This is exactly what it is. It's Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, okay? That's exactly what this is. You have someone that's compared. This is Michael Jackson, Prince, okay? This is what it is. It ain't just Michael Jackson by himself, even though both of those guys are very, were high on the music chain, in another comparison, right? But Floyd has Manny Pacquiao. Floyd might hate that, but Floyd has Manny Pacquiao. I made more with McGregor than I did with Manny. I don't know how true that is, but it is what it is. Far out, and these roads are like curvy, so I want to run off this piece driving, trying to read. It's one thing where you know where you're going, but I've never been out here, so forgive me for guys that I don't catch your messages. So I apologize in advance. Roy Jones Jr. is the best of all. Yeah, he is, but the thing is perception. See, when people see losses and they add the amount of people that beat him, it almost comes off like a big, Roy shouldn't have fought like he did. But Roy, who's going to tell Roy to stop fighting? Just like who's going to tell Mike Tyson to stop fighting? Yeah, he lost too many fights, but I think he fought off. Let his cerebral get stable. You know what I mean? And then come back. But he went right back in there, and I don't think he was up for it, and got knocked out again by Glenn Johnson. Yeah, Roy Jones. Now I was just reading the comments of someone said Roy Jones was the best fighter pound for pound. But back to Floyd though. Floyd has a dancing partner. His name is Manny Pacquiao. He should have embraced it. But that just goes to show you with arrogance, with that egotistical mindset. Nobody is better than me. I'm better than everybody else. I'm better than Muhammad Ali. I'm better than anybody. So then there's nobody that you can compare me to. Not even the people in my generation. More concerned about your safety. Oh yeah, thank you very much. Because these roads are like snake curves, because I'm out in the mountains now. It's very beautiful though, actually. Looks like Colombia and shit out here. Because you have like hills, like mountains with trees on top of the hills or the mountains or whatever. Got a lot of state parks here. Third, Padel Whitaker. Joker saying that Mayweather pound for pound better than Roy Jones. Roy Jones gave birth to guys like Mayweather. He's 10 years older than Mayweather. Or about 10 years old. He's like the big, let's put it this way. He's the big brother to Mayweather. He's that guy that did it, and Floyd looked at Roy Jones as a prototype of what to do and what not to do. It is, that's what it was. It was like, hey, Floyd learned from a lot of different people. You guys need to understand. Floyd is who he was because Floyd learned from fighters. He learned, hey, don't fight past your prime. Floyd he got the hell out of there. Floyd got the hell out of there. Somebody was gonna beat the shit out of him eventually. So he got out of there though. So he knew, like, okay, Roy's getting knocked out left and right. Let me not do that. Roy was boisterous. Roy was confident. I like that. Let me implement that. Of course, his skill, you know, because Roy was around and Roy was at the very top and Floyd was not. Floyd was just a top guy. He was a top guy in the weight class that he was in, but he wasn't known for that guy. You had too many people. And the early 2000s were look, from heavyweights to welterweights to middleweights to above middleweights where Roy was, and he dominated everything from middleweight on up. Roy Jones Jr. Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Mike Tyson, Roy Jones. These are legends of all legends, and don't compare pound for pound for Mayweather. Well, Mayweather is Mayweather. Mayweather is the prototype of people. And look, you know, because of how his career was shaped and molded, it's bad. Wow, this is a very pretty little town I'm in. Never been here. Wimberley Cafe. It's a nice little. It looks like somewhere in Santa Fe or some shit. Okay. But guys, we will do a lunch live, so stay tuned. I'm coming close to location, so we have to mask up. Yeah, I hate it, but it's necessary. Plus, if they see you without the mask, your ass will be fired. But guys, it's been a fun chat. I hope everyone has a safe morning or afternoon. Stay tuned for my afternoon for another live. And until then, you guys have been Counterpunched. Peace.